Welcome to the TGS kitchen, where today we are going to be cooking Muntjac Loin. We're not going to be doing anything standard and boring with it though. No, the plan here in the TGS kitchen is to do fusion. And so the challenge today is to bring Muntjac, one of my favourite pieces of game meat, and probably my favourite cut, into gyros, one of my favourite snacks. Let's go. Gyro means to turn because the meat is cooked pork traditionally on a horizontal spit. Shawarma, which is usually made with lamb, chicken or beef, is done on a vertical spit. Shawarma is from Turkey. Gyros is from Greece. It can be served in a pita or in a wrap. We're going to go for wraps today. And I've got some shop bought here, but I don't know about you, but these taste of Play-Doh, and I'd say are as close to hell as a thing can be. They put me off wraps entirely. To make them is incredibly simple. We've got some stuff. Let's go. The ingredients for a wrap are pretty simple. We've got flour, baking soda, oil, and warm salty water. Put it into the pan. Add all your stuff. Mix it up. It's like a pizza dough. For those who haven't made pizza dough, it's not entirely like a pizza dough because there's no yeast. But kind of excited for this. This is going to be a great success, right? There we go. This is strong white bread flour, not just normal bread flour. I should have made corn tortillas, but they're, that's not great. And there's bicarb in there to stop it breaking, to keep it flexible, right? Otherwise, you could just end up with a very crispy pancake, which is not what you want. Being fusion, I'm going to turn this into a British wrap. If there's no wraps in British cuisine at all. We've stolen that. We like bread. Leavened bread. Fluffy leavened bread. I think if my grandfather ever never ate a wrap in his life, did he? It's a very sticky wet dough. We're going to beat it around for a bit and then we're going to knead it. Just to actually create more glutinous strength. And also we roll it out. That should make it not tear quite so easily. I don't really understand the purpose, but I do it and it works every time.
At this point, chuck the dough onto a floured surface and knead for about 8 minutes by hand. If you have a stand mixer with a dough hook, you can use that and knead for about 5 minutes.
I appreciate that sitting and making your own flatbreads is a ball ache when buying them is so easy. But there's two huge benefits. Firstly, fresh bread is delicious. Fresh bread is just better, and this is fresh, very flat bread. Secondly, this took 10 minutes. When we go and prepare everything else, we're going to put this into this dish. Whilst it's in there resting with a wet cloth over it, we'll make everything else, by which point it will be ready to cook. And so we just cook them and slop everything in and away we go. So it isn't a huge nightmare. For pride of a job well done. That's mystery option number 3. Pride of a job well done. Wet cloth. Meat is next. Meat is exciting. We like meat. This is Muntjac Loin, the bits that come from there on this small little deer that is an invasive species. It's non-native to the UK. It comes from the east, from Asia. They released into parks, but they're so small and curious, they just got out. They're virile, they breed a lot, and they're so small they're kind of hard to find. Like often when they go and do deer counts, they go and survey the UK countryside, they'll radically miscount how many muntjac you have or are on that piece of ground because they're so small and so sneaky. They do some damage. They displace the other deer species, especially the native ones, as well as a lot of native wildlife. And so they're controlled, the byproduct of which is yummy, tasty meat. This is the smallest deer species we have in the UK. And so this back strap, this loin, is tiny, but it is delicious. And so what we're going to do is cook it. In an ideal world, we'd spit roast, but how many people have a spit roast in their house? Not many. And you could wrap it all up and you could really do a half exciting job. We're not going to do that. We're not even going to then roast it and slice it. We're going to slice it and kind of stir fry it. I have a little tub of spices to mix in. We'll go into that in a minute. But first, let's chop the meat. Why am I making such a pig's ear of that? But it did a good enough job. Bish bash bosh. With wild animals, making sure the meat is pretty good before it even goes to this stage is important. So any silver skin, any sinew, there's a reason that venison stew is so popular, and a reason that we're making this series because everyone just makes venison stew because it's the best in a pinch, because you can cook it slow, all those sinews and tendons kind of disappear, all the silver skin dissolves, and you're left with pretty nice meat. If you're going to fry venison or any lean meat, wild meat that is built to survive out there, you need to take off silver skin and sinew before you fry it. Otherwise, it'll be super chewy. And I like chewy meat. I'm a big fan of biltong. I'm a big fan of jerky, saucisson. All these things are nice, but perhaps not in a wrap. There we go. For example, in my preparation, I have missed a little piece just there, a little piece just there. So we're just going to take those off with this inappropriately large knife. And I like thin strips, mostly because you're cutting right through the muscle fibre, which makes it slightly less chewy, which means you can masticate less. Also, it just presents nice. You know, these nice long pieces, and it's much closer to the way they shave it off in a gyros or a shawarma. You end up with those nice long thin strips. It's all part of it. You get more coverage, and it'll cook away quicker, which is, you know, all part and parcel, all for the sake of a little extra knife work. Obviously, quality knives are very useful things in life, and if you haven't got some, it's a good investment for anyone who likes cooking. Even just one bang-on knife is an important thing to own. Alright, we've got in here oregano, sweet paprika, onion and garlic granules, salt and black pepper. We're going to put that bad boy on.
Rub in those dry spices and herbs and then add the oil and the vinegar. Vinegar is an acidic ingredient and as such helps to weaken the collagens and the proteins in the meat. Once the proteins are broken down by the acid, they can bond with each other and trap liquid in the meat, making it moist and tender.
Greece is an underrated import attention goal. You should import more stuff from Greece. Oh, we import a lot of feta cheese, a lot of Greek yogurt. Do you think Greek yogurt's domain? And ergo that it has to be like Greek, because Greek yogurt is a process. I don't know.
Next up, it's time for tzatziki. The Turkish word
Cacık
means yogurt soup, which is where the word tzatziki comes from.
Starting off with cucumber. You got to grate it, you got to drain it, a little bit like tomatoes. The reason a lot of people don't like tomatoes is because they should cut it and leave the seeds in it. It's all wet and disgusting. Really, that's not the part that you want. There are some definite rooms where a wet tomato is useful, but for the most part, it's not. If you want a wet tzatziki, grate the whole thing and leave all the water in. If you don't, grate mostly the hard stuff. We're going to stick it in here, squeeze out the juice, add it in.
You can obviously just buy this, but unless you have a Greek deli near your house, fresh is best.
Next up is the lemon. 1 tablespoon of lemon was the internet suggestion. I'm going to holistically just do it to taste. Well, it makes more sense. You know the reason to roll a lemon is just as you get to smell it. It's nothing to do with hallucinating it. It smells great. You squeeze all those citrus oils out, making it completely useless for cocktail making ever again. It's good. It's a giant lemon. I can get lemons in China is sick, can it? Like,
Chop some herbs. I'm using mint and dill. There are others you can use. These are easy and delicious. Chop some garlic, as fine as you like, or you could use a garlic press, but they're a pain in the ass to clean.
alright. Now we've got what I would consider to be what's actually paint. Can I please have some more dill? It's not pineapple. It only needs a little bit more, it's just a little bit. That mint was quite powerful. I think when you buy herbs, herbs, even when you grow herbs. And when you look at herbs in recipes, you have to remember that some plants are just more potent than others. And it's like, I'm saying lemon's a lemon. What if you got like some budget flavourless lemon and it said put a tablespoon in, you never taste it? What if the world was potent lemon and put a tablespoon in, it blew your head off? I'm saying add 2 chilies. Add every herb to taste. The end. Herbs should be add holistically. That's what they should put on the recipes. Add holistically. We're going to add a tablespoon-ish of olive oil. Smooth and texturing a little bit. That standard olive oil taste. And then once that's mixed in, we're going to add salt to taste.
Mix it all together and bam, it's done.
We made tzatziki.
For the salad, keep it basic. Shallots thinly sliced. Tomatoes sliced but remove the guts. And parsley roughly chopped. Mix it up and job done. There's going to be enough sauce to make it good when the wrap is put together. And note to self, use a bigger bowl. With the dough all rested, it's time to cook. Take yourself a small golf ball sized amount of dough. Flour your board and your rolling pin to stop it from sticking and flatten out the dough with your fingers to form a rough circle shape. Now use that rolling pin to roll that circle roughly into the size of your frying pan, which can take a bit of practice. Roll it out as thin as you like, or perhaps just as thin as you can. When you're happy, pop it into a frying pan that has hit maximum temperature on high heat. Turn when it's cooked on one side and remove when it's done. A word of caution if I may, don't overcook it. It wants to be floppy and soft. About 30 seconds a side is good. Use your first one as a test. It doesn't matter if you mess it up. Learn from it and improve. Let's cook some meat.
Let's chuck it all in. What sounds good?
Get it sizzling and move the meat around in the pan to cook for about 5 minutes, or holistically until done.
I'm happy with that. Don't overcook it. Not overcook it. Like I said, it's pretty rough. Only bad when you overcook it. I mean, chicken you can abuse pretty well, but fried chicken, one of the best food in the entire world. Overcook it, bad. Honestly, looks and smells pretty good. But there's only one way to test it, and that search through. It's very flexible. Remember the extra thickness? I like it. Like, it's nice to have a bit of bite, right? It's like when bread's sliced too thin or something. It's good to have that as an extra layer. It's not just a holder, it is part of the meal. It's good. It's a definite win. Alright. Salad. Somewhat more genteelly arranged. Gosh. And then the all-important, delicious slices of Muntjac Loin. Oh. Yeah, it's a little pre-formed. One Venison Gyros. Really? Oh no, onions, some garlic, and those fresh spicy flavors. That is good. The wrapping is more like a pound cake. It's tender, it's chewy, it's doughy. It tastes of flour, not Play-Doh. Well, absolute banger. And Chris, not about you at all. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, cook some of this shit. It's banging.